my name is Maddie, and I'm going to be interviewing Teresa on her daily habits, and we're going to dive into her health. Teresa, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your eating habits, your activity levels, and daily habits, if that's all right with you. And then we're going to focus in on your goals and take necessary steps to getting there. So ideally, we'll work together in the next couple sessions to identify personal areas to improve or enhance certain aspects of what you're going to talk to me about. So to start off, what brings you in today to talk about your health?
I feel like I'm overeating because I'm gaining weight.
And I'm just going to be taking notes this whole time.
And I tend to eat emotionally.
When did you start realizing that? Yeah.
In college, it definitely started. I started binge eating, and I wasn't diagnosed, but our nutritionist told me that I was like a binge eater.
And what is it that you did in college in terms of that you were dealing with a nutritionist?
I was a softball player, and we had a nutritionist.
And where'd you go to college?
University of Florida.
And currently, how old are you?
I'm 26.
And how tall are you?
5'4" and 3/4.
And how much do you currently weigh? Do you know last time you weighed yourself?
Yeah, 153.
Nice. And was this at a doctor's office or was this at your house?
House.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're using a typical scale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how have things changed since college?
So I was diagnosed with IBS, and I started gaining more and more weight, and then I finally hit like 196 2 years ago in July. So I went to see a doctor, and he put me on Saxenda, which helped me lose weight. I was like 141, and then I stopped using it, and I started to go back up.
So when did you go on Saxenda?
I went on a little over a year ago.
And when did you go off of it?
Like end of June, I went off of it.
This past June.
This past June, yeah.
So I was gonna say, since June, you've gained what, like
12
pounds?
Yeah.
Okay. And so have you changed anything since June in terms of eating habits? Because I know it's the summer, and so.
The summer was a bit tough, I would say. So I kind of understood it a little.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm trying to like get back to it, and I keep gaining weight.
Okay. So what was going on this summer?
I was traveling a lot, like nonstop, going out to dinner, hanging with friends, going to the bar, all the fun stuff.
Good. And now you're back into school session, right? Because you're a teacher?
Yes.
And so now what is your daily schedule like?
I'm a phys ed teacher, so I'm active. I'm always on my feet for most of the day, and then I coach after school, so I'm on my feet all afternoon.
What are you coaching?
Volleyball. Yeah.
So what time do you get up in the morning?
So typically around 6 o'clock I'll get up. Some days I'll work out in the morning, some days I won't. Kind of depends on my volleyball schedule.
Okay.
Cause like the last 2 days I didn't get home till like 9:30 from games.
Okay.
And I just like couldn't get up in the mornings.
Okay.
I could feel myself drain basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to get at least like 3 or 4 workouts in a week, sorry.
Okay. And what kind of workouts are you doing?
I work out at Apex with Oliver once a week. I started running again this week, so I ran on Monday. I did like a 30-minute session with like a trainer on the Nordic track.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Nordic track, so that's your, like, it's like a Peloton?
Yeah,
it's
like Peloton basically. Yeah. And then I was planning on doing another run tomorrow morning. Because I also have a 5K next Sunday I have to train for.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
I'm sure it'll be fine. So it's mostly, so are you strength training once a week and then doing the running the other times?
Yeah, I feel like the next 2 weeks it's gonna be more cardio based, but I'll
Okay.
get back into more strength. I just get nervous because I was told that from my doctor, Dr. Kolfer, that I have the body type that just like gains muscle quickly. I forget what it's called, like mesomorph or something. One of them, I don't know.
And this is Dr. Cole, who you were working with, who gave you this Extenda?
Yeah.
Okay, and are you
Yeah.
currently working with him?
No.
Okay.
So that's like the only thing that makes me nervous with is gaining
The lifting.
weight from lifting.
Okay.
I know it's such a stigma that like
Yeah, but again,
you
like,
don't gain weight from lifting, but like I know that I do in muscle.
well, you have the experience of being a softball player and
Yeah.
then seeing what you were like in college and then coming back. And also,
Yeah.
in college, it's hard too because clearly you were doing like what, 2-a-days and working
Yeah.
working
I
out
worked out,
constantly,
yeah.
like nonstop. Okay, so what are your current health goals that you want to work towards?
I would like to like just burn fat. Like I'm fine with the muscle that I have, but I would like to cut down on the fat content.
Okay. Is there a specific goal you have in mind with that? Is there like, are you looking at a number? Are you looking at specific clothes you're trying to fit into? What is the goal here overall?
I would say like 135.
135. And have you ever been at that weight before?
No.
Okay.
Not since like 3rd grade, probably.
And what makes you hone in on that number? Just curiously.
Because I was getting there, like I was at like 141
Okay.
and I felt my healthiest.
Did you feel strong? Did you feel like you had energy? Did you feel any of that? Like, did you ever feel before you went off this extent, did you ever feel fatigued or tired or really never having all the energy to do what you want in a day? How about your focus levels?
Not too much.
Okay.
I felt like I wasn't lifting as much when I was on the Extend. I think that's the only downfall of it was I wanted to get my muscles strong
Mhm.
but lean out, and
Okay.
I felt like I was just leaning out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And currently, do you follow any specific diets, like vegetarianism, gluten-free? Okay.
No.
Do you have any dietary restrictions?
I'm allergic to pork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been allergy tested for that, or
Yes.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any other types of foods you don't prefer? Not just being allergic.
No.
No foods you absolutely hate.
No, pretty easygoing.
Okay, great. And do you ever experience any nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea?
I mean, I have diarrhea and constipation from the IBS.
All right. And how long has that been going on?
Since like college, so like 5 years at least.
Wow.
Now. Yeah.
How often, like during the week, do you have that? Is it every day?
It like comes in waves, so I'll be bloated for like 3 or 4 days, and it's like super painful in the abdomen, and then it'll like flush out of me for like a day or two, and then it comes back.
So you go basically being constipated, then it comes out, it's got diarrhea, and then it's back to being constipated.
Yeah.
So what do you do to alleviate these symptoms?
I celery juice. I do like detox teas at night.
How consistent are you with this?
Not great. I used to be better with the celery juicing. Now it's becoming like once every 3 weeks, but
Okay.
it should be at least once a week.
And that's something you talked about with your doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also think it might be my hormones when I'm like supposed to be getting my period because I have an IUD, so I don't actually get my period.
Okay.
So like I guess basically when I'm supposed to be getting my period,
What kind of IUD do you have?
the Marina.
Marina. What kind of hormones is it?
I don't know.
Okay. But you know that it is hormones.
It is hormone.
And they
yeah.
discuss any of these side effects with you?
It was so long ago, I don't remember.
No problem. I can even look that up.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
So you feel like potentially around like getting your period, you feel like maybe you're bloating more,
Yes.
and that could be also one of these things.
Yeah,
but
I feel
at
like
the same time, it's, you know, if
my
you're saying
food
it's,
choices, I feel like are definitely worse when
okay, we're gonna get into that. Don't you worry.
I'm
Yeah.
getting to like my menstrual
Oh, okay. So you
stuff.
feel like you have certain cravings, certain types of things you're going for.
towards
Okay.
that. Yeah. I think I never know when I'm supposed to have my period.
So what does a normal day of eating look like for you? So start with like breakfast.
Breakfast, like today, I had an egg salad sandwich, and I had an iced chai latte with a shot of espresso, and it was almond milk in it.
Okay.
And then for lunch,
and did you make this, or was this?
I made
out?
the egg salad sandwich,
Okay.
and then I went and got the iced chai.
Okay. Okay. Do the 10-minute timer so we get notification. Okay.
Don't angle it that way, or are you good?
I can do it. That looks so awkward. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Alright.
So back to
So
lunch.
going back to, so we started with saying that you had the shot of espresso milk, you buy the iced chai latte.
Yeah.
Again, so how much egg is in this egg salad?
2 eggs.
2 eggs.
Mayo, salt, and pepper.
Okay. And so then what is your typical lunch? Or one of your standard lunches?
So today I had masman chicken
Mm-hmm.
with carrots, onions, potatoes, the seasoning. I had it with coconut milk and rice.
Okay. And then what about your snacks today?
After lunch I had Skinny Pop popcorn, like the 100s.
Here. Okay, so what is your normal snack like, and what time do you normally have snacks?
So today I had a snack at 5:45, 5:50.
Okay.
It was the Skinny Pop popcorn and the gummy bear little pack.
Great. And what about dinner?
I usually try not to eat dinner.
Okay. And why is that?
So my previous doctor, when I was on the Saxenda, he wanted me to be on like a decrescendo type of eating. So biggest meal for breakfast, small, medium-ish meal for lunch, and then just like a little snack earlier in the day before dinner to not have any. So that would help me lose weight.
Mm-hmm. And did you find that it was actually helping you lose weight?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then how are you feeling in terms of satiety? Did you feel hungry times and you were just like trying to mix it out, or were you feeling like you didn't have an appetite at that time?
I didn't really have an appetite because of the Saxenda. It helped like cut the signal that I was hungry, which was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, are you feeling like you're potentially getting hungry again?
A little bit. Some days are like worse than others. Some days I can be fine and not eat anything, and some days I just like want to find the closest thing.
So this summer, were you eating dinners?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a big change from basically going to not eating dinners at all, and then like summer came and you were going out more and doing more things. And,
yes.
Okay, so you'd say now, how long have you been going back to like the normal routine? When did you stop doing the whole traveling and all that?
Like the past 3 weeks, I would say.
Okay, so this is your typical 24 hours that you're usually doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you noticed a change in weight in terms of the last couple of weeks? Have you plateaued, or are you
gained? Yeah,
Are you consistently gaining? Like, have you seen in a certain time span how long you're gaining? Like every week? How often you weigh yourself?
So I was weighing myself every Monday, and the past 3 Mondays I was at 148, and then I went to 151, and then I went to 153 this past Monday.
This past Monday, okay.
Yeah, so that
So
was
so when did you get? When were you 148?
I was 148.
2 weeks ago, or is that a week?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this past Monday, you weighed yourself again. That's when you went. Okay. Did you weigh yourself in between those times or no?
So yeah, I like struggle with looking at my weight.
Okay.
And when I do see myself gaining weight, I want to like see myself every day to see if I keep gaining weight.
Yeah.
That's like one of my big things I have to try not to do.
Okay.
Because it definitely messes with my head, I would say.
Okay, for sure. So did you see the weight going up a little bit in terms, like you saw yourself at 148, did you see it slowly going up, or did you like basically see 148 one day and then 153 a different day?
So it was 148, then I did wait a week. That next Monday was 151, and then I started doing every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't weighed myself since Monday
Okay, good.
or Tuesday this week, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you normally drink water? What is it that you're drinking throughout the
Water.
day? Okay. And how much water are you drinking every day?
I have like a big water, like this big. I'll do like 1.5 of those throughout the day.
Okay. And what about supplements? Do you take any protein shakes, vitamins?
I do vitamins of like 7 different multivitamin type things that my doctor had me on.
Okay. Are you taking anything else besides that from what he gave you? Obviously no more Saxenda.
No, that's it. I think when I got my blood done with him like a year ago, he was nervous about a hypothyroid.
Okay.
So I don't know where that's at right now.
Did he ever talk to you about that? Did he ever say anything was?
I think that's why he wanted me on the Saxenda, because I was how he explained it was that I was overeating, and so my thyroid literally couldn't catch up. So it like was just slowing down.
Okay. Okay. And so in terms of your eating at school and all of that, is there ever a time that you're finding that you feel uncomfortable? Are you feeling good? Is there fatigue happening?
After lunch, sometimes I do feel bloated, and I don't know if it's a food sensitivity or just something that my body's not liking, because I like visibly look more bloated, and it's like very uncomfortable.
Is it painful, or is it just you're feeling better?
Sometimes
Okay.
it is.
And do you have diarrhea directly after that, or does it just stay painful?
No, it just stays.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you do anything to try to alleviate the pain?
No, I don't really know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find that when you're more active, do you feel less bloated, or again, like there's nothing that's pinpointing you to helping you alleviate this or anything?
I'm not sure. I feel like I get bloated easier when I'm supposed to be on my period, in a sense. Like, I don't know if I get inflamed or whatever, but I'm starting to try and track when I'm getting bloated, and it's been coming up like closer to when I'm supposed to be getting my period.
Okay.
So I don't know if that is like playing with each other.
Okay. Yeah, so like we were talking about before, like the hormones and all that too.
But I need to pay attention more, because I haven't been that much.
How are you feeling during your workouts? Do you have a lot of energy?
Yeah, workouts I feel good.
Do you eat anything before you work out?
Yes, I'll usually have like either a half a banana with almond butter, or I'll have like a protein ball that I make, which is like protein powder, peanut butter or almond butter, a tablespoon of coconut, flour, honey or maple syrup, and chocolate chips, like mini chocolate chips in a bowl.
So what is the setup in your household really? Like who does the cooking? Who are you living with?
I do all the cooking.
Oh, that's a good thing though, because then that means you're the one in control.
But so when I was talking to my doctor, he wanted me out of the kitchen, because I was being like too tempted in a sense with the food.
Okay.
So I tried not being the cook, and that just like, didn't work out.
So when did that coincide? Was that over a year ago that you were doing that?
Yeah, that was like when I was doing Saxenda.
Okay.
He wanted me out of the kitchen.
Okay. So what would you do then instead, and during that time?
I was trying to get my mom to do all the cooking, or a lot of times like I had to go get food.
But so if you don't mind me asking, so what was he expecting you to do at that point? Like having someone make you all your food, or like eat out all the time, or?
I had my mom make the food.
But that doesn't really seem feasible, right? Because she also has a full-time job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't work out. I'm back in the kitchen.
Okay. And would you say you feel tempted? Are you picking on food? Like what's the issue?
I feel like sometimes I do pick on the food when I'm cooking it. Especially if it's like close to a time where I should be eating or whatever. Yeah, I think it's just being tempted by it and like having an emotional attachment to it, I guess.
Okay. So currently now, how are you handling that in the kitchen in terms of making your meals? Are you making food ahead of time, like in bulk, or are you doing individual meals every day?
I'm meal prepping for the most part. And it's like I meal prep breakfast burritos. I'll make like the egg salad sandwiches. I'll make salads. And I'll make like chicken dishes or whatever for the week for the family.
Oh, for the family, for the entire family. So how many people is that?
4 of us.
4 people.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you ever eating with other people as well? Do you guys sit down for big family dinners? Do you
Not
are you sitting down with
usually.
coworkers at lunch? Like how's that going?
No, I eat by myself when I'm at work.
Okay.
Family, we're all like on our own schedules, and I don't really eat dinner, so I'm never really around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't say that you're necessarily eating with someone and they're trying to kind of like coerce you into eating something, or you're never feeling pressure to eat, or you don't feel like, I don't know, that you have to eat at some time when you don't want to?
No, I would say my brother recently has been like trying to get me to eat more in a sense, where he was worried about me when I was on the sick end, and that's kind of why I got off of it.
Okay. And how did you feel with that? Did you like talk to him through that, or?
I kind of like pushed back, and I told him like to stop because I'm literally gaining weight.
Okay.
So
is there anything that you can pick out specifically that's so drastically different from when you stopped the Saxenda in terms of eating habits?
I would say like the summer definitely didn't help.
Okay.
I would say like I understand why I gained weight from the summer.
Mm-hmm. But then we're also saying that you've gotten back into your normal mode.
But
so what's
and
causing
now
that?
I'm still gaining weight, so
Okay.
now I'm concerned because I'm eating the way I used to eat on the Saxenda. I'm just not on it anymore, but I'm still gaining weight.
Okay. And would you say you're not picking the kitchen? You're not having extra snacks here and there?
Not
Dinners?
usually. I really don't have dinner. And if I am hungry, I try to do, it's like Brodel is the brand. It's like bone broth.
Okay.
So I try to do that at night if I'm hungry, or I'll try to just have tea to just alleviate the feeling of having an empty stomach.
It's so going over like what you've been telling me that you had in the last 24 hours. It doesn't seem like a ton of food. Are the portions pretty sizable? Would you say, or?
Yeah, I'd say my lunch was like a normal sized lunch.
Okay. Like how much would you say is like this much? Can you palm the size? How much?
It's like a round container.
Okay.
So I made the rice like through a half a cup of rice, and I cooked it, and I made that into 4 meals with the rice.
Okay.
And then like the chicken and sauces on top.
Okay.
So I feel like it was a normal size.
When
portion.
you're eating all these different foods, like you're going pretty long hours in between your meals too. Are you feeling hungry and like deprived at some point, or?
Not from like breakfast to lunch. I think 'cause I'm so busy, like I teach, and then it's lunch. I feel like when I get to like 3 o'clock, I start to get hungry. For like that snack or like something to just hold me over.
So even if you're trying to skip the dinner, maybe we try to fit you in with like a larger snack though, or even like a larger lunch, or maybe a snack in between breakfast and lunch. Is that feasible, or is that something that's like, because you're teaching, you can't really eat when you're teaching?
Only time I'd be able to have a snack would be at like 9:20 before my first class.
Okay, and then do you have to have lunch at 11:45? That's like you have to?
That's my lunch period.
It's your lunch period, okay.
Yeah.
So that is tricky. I mean, what if we even threw in like a smoothie or something in between, so it's more of a drink? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, are you worried about eating too much food? Is that also a concern?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you used to talk to your doctor about this, like what would he say? Because clearly he got you on some kind of regime here.
Yeah, he said,
Like in terms
kind
of
of
how
like
much you're
you
eating.
said, Like he kind of wanted me to have a snack before lunch to
Okay.
hold me over,
Okay.
even if it was like a half of a bar or yogurt
Okay.
or whatever. But I just don't want to gain weight.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, that's. I think that's the very normal mentality is that people is trying to get you to do this. We should try to throw in a snack in between your breakfast and your lunch because, again, it doesn't sound like you're eating enough food, and your body's not going to allow yourself to lose weight unless we're getting sufficient nutrients in your body. That's the whole idea here. So, is there a type of snack that you'd be willing to sneak in the middle of the day before your first class? Like, what would you think you'd be up for?
Probably anything.
Okay.
Just it might be hard for refrigerated things.
Maybe like one of the packs of almonds, something like that, like nuts, trail mix, something like that.
I'm not a big fan of nuts.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I think because when I was young, my mom always had like trail mix and stuff, and I'm just like, so
you're not
it's
into
not.
it. You're not into it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's totally fine. What about the popcorn? Could we have it at that point?
Yeah, I just never thought about having popcorn at like 9 o'clock.
That's actually a good point too.
Yeah.
What about like a Lara bar or some kind of nutrient dense bar?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. That's not so much trail mix, it is nuts, but it's at least peanut butter or something like that. And it's
Could
also
I do like a protein bowl, like one of the protein bowls?
Yeah.
I made?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it works too. How big are these protein bowls? Say like golf ball size?
Yeah.
Golf ball size.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we have 2 protein balls.
Okay.
Okay? Because I feel like you need to have, again, a little bit more food. And let's see if we can even try. Could you try doing that every day between
Yeah.
lunch? Is that something you can feel like you could get going with?
Yeah.
So that'll be one of our goals too. Okay, you're taking your supplements. Can't really track it to one thing. You're seeing before you work out, usually eating half a banana with almond butter.
Yeah.
So you're saying before. And then again, what is it, the protein ball? What exactly is it?
It's the either peanut butter, almond butter,
Mhm.
the protein powder, honey or maple syrup,
Mhm.
and like 1 tablespoon of coconut flour,
Okay.
and that will make like 7 or 8 balls.
Okay, that's pretty good. So you're gonna say, what happens on the weekends when you're getting really busy at volleyball? So like when you were saying like you are coaching constantly and it's conflicting with your ability to get a workout in the morning. Are you sleeping enough? How many hours a night would you say you sleep?
So I say my sleep definitely varies during the season
Okay.
for volleyball.
Okay.
And I think that's why I'm like more cognizant of trying to get my sleep rather than like waking up early to work out,
Yeah.
because I do get run down and I
Okay.
do feel that.
Okay.
Like right now, like my eyes look so bad. I'm so tired. And like we coach 6 days a week, so even Saturdays we have practice in the morning, or tournaments. Like October, I have a tournament every single weekend, every Saturday in October, 4 Saturdays.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through what you typically do to prepare for your days like this, because you've got really busy days. You're constantly on your feet, and do you constantly have snacks on you? Do you have meals prep for you? Are you eating
So,
out? What's the plan?
I have snacks in my office, like the Skinny Pop or like the mini kind bars, like the 2-biters, basically.
Okay.
I have those gummy bears.
And
So-
would you say you have like one of those, like you said before, you have Skinny Pop and then gummy bears. Do you ever just have one of those snacks and feel full, or is it like you feel like you need to have a couple things together to make it feel like you're satiated?
I feel like it depends on the day.
Okay.
But most likely, like having 2 things is helping. Like some days I'll do the Skinny Pop and the kind bar, like the mini kind bar to
Okay.
help.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then in terms of, say you're traveling, say you have a tournament, what are you eating for lunch? Are you bringing yourself lunch? Is that something you
Usually
buy out?
I bring a salad or something. Yeah.
Okay. And when it comes to nutrition, all this aspect of it, like you're clearly doing meal prepping, what makes you decide your portion sizes? What makes you decide how much you're eating? Like, because I'm looking at what you're eating and it doesn't seem like a lot. So what's driving that?
Like, kind of by eye, I guess.
Okay.
When I'm doing it, like I know if I'm making like a cup of rice, that should be like good for 4 or 5 servings.
And how do you know that? Like, what made you decide to do that?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think maybe because on like the back of the rice thing, it said like 4 to 6 servings.
So
or
you're
whatever.
going by maybe what the package says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say, so you're eating lunch, you're sitting there, you're eating your lunch. Would you say by the end of the lunch, you're like, okay, I'm full, I'm done, and like maybe an hour later you're hungry? Or is it like you're feeling like, oh, I could keep eating, I'm kind of hungry still? Like, do you ever check in with yourself there? Do you ever?
Yes and no. I try to like push it away, like I'm not hungry.
Okay, okay. So maybe we need to think about being a little bit more conscientious about when we're eating, to think, okay, how am I feeling, checking in with myself, that kind of stuff. Because now let's go into the whole emotional aspect of the food. So where does that come in terms of, like, you went to this doctor, you clearly were figuring out some kind of like meal plan here, but when did the identification of like emotional eating? So you said it started in college. What started that?
It started in college. I had a not so awesome coach.
Okay.
And I think just from like the pressure of playing in college and being away from home, like I just found comfort within food.
Okay.
And it just made me feel happy. I remember like one day I literally went to the grocery store and bought like mini donut holes and I ate the whole box.
Was it a legitimate box of donuts?
It was like the rectangle ones, like the smaller rectangle ones, but like I ate the whole box and I felt like I was gonna throw up.
Okay, so there was no
Like
check-in point.
There was
just like
no
you were
check-in.
trying to,
It just like went.
you were trying to get that endorphin rush.
Yeah,
Trying to
and I'm
feel
definitely
good.
not that bad anymore. Like that was my lowest low, I would say.
And after doing that, would you feel like you could recognize, like, why did I do that, or you recognize the fact that you were missing something and trying to fill that?
I recognized it. Like I was clearly emotional in a sense where I was just trying to find comfort, and I knew food was my comfort.
Okay, and how did you work through that? Because now you're saying it's not as bad, but in terms of, did it stop because you stopped, like you graduated, or what changed
Part
there?
of it was graduating, and part of it was just being more self-aware, I would say.
Okay, and in terms of self-aware, what do you mean? Like because think of it in terms of you graduated college, then you came home. Did you feel good that you were home again? Do you think a huge part of it had to be that you were not around, you had less stresses in your life?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say I still had stress. Like I was going to grad school, I was teaching on top of grad school, and I think that was part of me gaining weight too, on top of being out of undergrad at Florida.
Okay.
And COVID hit, and like my weight just spiked from all the stress, and I probably wasn't like taking care of myself in a sense, so I was really run down and busy.
Okay, so you basically went from graduating college, coming home, and then taking on more stressors, or different types of stressors.
Yeah.
So in that motion there, would you say there was a change from college to then coming home? So you weren't going to the store and eating a whole box of nuts, but so what changed in terms of, what was the improvement when you went to grad school?
I wasn't grocery shopping as much, I would say. So I wasn't the one depending on like the food. And I also had my parents around, so I feel like they helped in that sense.
Help in the sense of being supportive
Comfort,
to you, or
yeah, like they became part of my comfort, not the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, you're still saying that there's some type of emotional connection to food. What is that now? In terms of stressors in your life, do you find yourself looking to food for comfort? Is there other things you're looking for comfort?
Yeah, I would say I still kind of look for it as comfort.
And so what kind of
And
food are you looking for?
towards like the end of the day, I would say.
Okay, that makes sense. Like after a long day. And what are you looking for? Would you say? Is it anything? Is it a specific kind of food?
Usually sweets.
That's fine. And do you ever let yourself have the sweets?
Yeah, sometimes. Like, I've gotten better with like the healthier versions of things, like the Unreal brand. And I'll only have like one of the Unreal, like dark chocolate peanut butter cups. I won't have the whole bag of them like I probably would have in college.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm better in that sense.
Yeah. Okay. And do you ever actually let yourself have the dessert? Do you ever do you actually ever like have brownies or have some cookies? Or do you feel like if you have a cookie, you have to have like 5 of them? Do you ever feel
No,
after it?
I feel like I can just have one for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I'm definitely better at that.
And do you ever eat
I
your
get-
food and look at your phone or on your TV or any of that kind of stuff? Anytime
Yeah,
anything distracting?
sometimes.
Sometimes? Is it like at school that you're doing the lunch, or is that?
Yeah, when I have lunch, I'm usually like looking at my phone.
Okay.
Or like doing some type of work. I was gonna say something.
Mhm.
I forgot. But I know it was important.
Well, like we were talking about connecting food,
I get
desserts.
nervous about like it becoming a habit where, yeah, I'm only having like one of the Unreal like peanut butter cups, but I get nervous that like, okay, now it's fine to do that like every day, like one time every night.
Okay.
And I don't want that to be like a habit.
I understand. I mean, I feel like you're doing a really good job, but we also want to look at this on the other end, maybe saying maybe you're restricting yourself a little bit too much, and that's why you've slowly started to incorporate less food during the day as well. That is it really so terrible that maybe you have the peanut butter cup, you can have it in the middle of the day with your lunch. Maybe we try doing that.
Yeah.
You know, that way you're feeling you're having it with something, and you feel like that can be your treat during the day, and that's okay to have that. You're not having a gigantic cookie, but like having that maybe will give you a little bit of feeling like, oh no, this is okay that I can feel like I can have this, and that one little peanut butter cup is not going to make you gain 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing we have to start, I think, looking at. It's like we clearly have an overall goal of what you want to do, because now we want to start talking about potentially committing to some small changes to make some short-term goals to get to your big goal. Okay, so the overall goal is going to be what? It's going to be to what? You want to lose a certain amount of weight. You want to get to 135 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal here.
So like
And
17 pounds basically.
Okay. And do you know how long you're giving yourself to do that? If you have a specific timeline, or is this just over time you're trying to do this?
Ideally, it would be nice by Christmas, but like realistically, I understand if it will take longer. Like if I go by like the 2 pounds a week, I definitely could do it. But
Okay. And do you see yourself changing anything in the next couple weeks that you could see it really making that big difference? Because clearly you're eating less food, you are active. We need to add something in or work on something to make it feasible to get there, right?
yeah.
So, how many weeks away is Christmas? Let's look at the calendar. Let's see.
It's
One,
at
two,
least
three.
12, I feel like.
So it's September. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14. Like 14 weeks.
Jeez.
Okay.
That's so far away.
I
Yeah, that's 28 pounds. And
That's 28
I was
pounds.
I only needed 18, right? What did I
17.
say?
You're saying 17.
Yeah.
So I think what we should try to do is try to aim for 1 pound a week.
Okay.
Okay, I think that would be a really good thing to do. That should be one of our main goals, because I don't want to set you up to the point where like you're looking at yourself to hit those 2 pounds and it doesn't happen.
And
Right.
I freak out, yeah.
Right, and there's no freaking out. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So 1 pound per week for 14 weeks. Let's try that. I want to get to December 25th. Okay, and so what are we gonna do in order to get that? Can we start adding a snack during the day?
Yeah.
And also trying to maybe add in the peanut butter cup or something else with lunch? Can we add a little bit more to lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay. So another goal that we should try to get into too. Let's look into. Is there anything specific you want to look into? Is there like maybe trying to create maybe a healthier relationship with food? Trying to like take less of an emotional burden to it? Like what is something that you want to look at or really try to enhance or improve on? It could be anything from prepping foods, like are you doing it, like we could say that you want to do food prep for 5 days a week for a 5-day week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how are we gonna work on that?
Like my Sundays being my food prep days.
And how many meals are you gonna make in terms of that food prep day? Are you gonna cook in bulk?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing too, what you could do is you could have 2 big kinds of foods that you alternate for your lunch. So it's not like you're eating the same thing every day, but at least you're eating consistent food, and then maybe that way we can also see if there's any target where say you go a couple of days and there's no flare up, that kind of thing. Okay.
Like 2 different dishes and go every other day with them. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Sunday will be your food prep days, 2 different dishes for lunch, and we want to do that for let's keep on this whole 14-week schedule, because that way we're going to coincide this with the weight loss as well. Okay, and so what about the celery juice? Is that something you're interested in keep doing? Or?
Yeah, I need to get.
Because you're saying that at least at this point right now, you're saying that helps you get into the mode of moving things along and fleshing yourself out. Okay, so what is something we can work on with that? Is that going to be doing it every single morning? Or is it no? Okay.
That's not.
Okay.
I tried doing that.
Doesn't work.
And I just can't. Yeah, and I tried like prepping the celery juice, and by day like 2 or 3, it was sour, like so not good.
Okay.
So I think let's try once a week.
Celery juice 1 times a week.
Yeah.
Okay, what day?
Probably Sunday.
Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Okay, so celery juice 1 time a week for 14 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be every Sunday morning. Okay. What about your workouts? How do we want to look into that in terms of, are there any goals with that?
I just want to like lean out the fat. So, am I supposed to be doing more high intensity type workouts? Am I supposed to be doing more walking? Am I supposed to be doing more cardio?
It honestly sounds like you're on your feet all day and you're constantly exerting a lot of energy. In my personal opinion, I think that the strength training is going to be huge, and I think that at least twice a week is going to really benefit you in terms of also feeling strong. And then maybe on those days we look into how much you're eating, because we need to look at, in terms of what you're eating on a normal day, it doesn't seem like it's enough. And on top of that, if you're going to be working out, we need to make sure that you're fueling your workout and also your post-workout. That's going to be a huge part of it. Okay. So would you be up for trying to do the strength training 2 times a week? Is that something that you're going to focus on? And I know you said you're working with Oliver, like the trainer.
Yeah.
Is that going to be another day a week you're going to work out on your own strength training?
Yeah.
Okay, so how are we going to make that work in terms of what day do you work out with Oliver?
I work out on Wednesdays with Oliver, so usually I could do like Monday or Friday or Saturday.
And so you know your schedule right now in terms of volleyball, how busy you get. What seems to be the more feasible type of?
It's gonna have to like change every week.
Okay.
Because my game schedule changes every week.
Okay.
So, like Monday, I can definitely do a workout in the mornings.
So this coming Monday?
I know I can.
All Mondays?
Well, yeah, because I'm coming off of like an off day in a sense on Sunday, so I should be getting to bed on time and all that. Okay. So Monday's like a definite. Wednesday's a definite.
Okay.
Because I have to go see Oliver on Wednesdays.
Nice, you're committed to that.
Yeah.
So 1 day a week for 14 weeks is going to be the Monday of strength training.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it at your house, or are you going to do that at Apex?
House.
Okay. And what are you going to do? Do you have a routine written out?
Yeah, I do MBF, which is on Beachbody.
Okay.
On demand. It's muscle burns fat, and it's a good workout.
Okay.
Like one set will be 2 different exercises. and it's for like a minute each, and we do it 3 times or twice around. So it's like single arm stuff.
And then you go to the other side of it? Kind of thing? Okay, so you're like doing both sides.
Yeah, and then in between, like switching different supersets, I do jump rope stuff.
Okay.
And then I go to the next thing. So
Okay.
like the girl like adds some cardio into it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good mixed workout.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's just go over. So our goals are gonna be trying to lose 1 pound per week for 14 weeks. And we're gonna do that by adding a snack during the day between breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
And you're also gonna add a little more food to lunch, whether it's gonna be like that peanut butter cup, or maybe add in some fruit with it, maybe add in an apple and carrots with it, maybe carrots and hummus, something else. Just something else to get a little bit more food into your system, and we're gonna see. And like we're gonna check in a couple weeks, so we're gonna be able to check in and see how your progress is doing.
Okay.
Other one is gonna be doing food prep days on Sundays. You're gonna have 2 different dishes that you're gonna rotate for lunch, and that's gonna be for 14 weeks. Okay. We're gonna work on having celery juice once a week for 14 weeks, and you're gonna do that on Sunday mornings. Okay. And then finally, for strength training, you're gonna do it at least twice a week, and you already have 1 day committed to Wednesdays being Oliver, and then the other day is gonna be
Try to do
Mondays. That's gonna be our again for 14 weeks working on that Monday, and it's gonna be at your house. Ideally, we're gonna set it up to be at your house. If it turns out that you have a partner to work out with, do you work out with someone else, or is you usually by yourself?
With Oliver, I work out with my brother. But on Mondays, like when I work out at my house, it's by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So, is there any way we could even maybe pull your brother into working out with you on Mondays?
Probably
Just in
not.
term, probably not. Okay.
He likes to go to Apex to work out in the mornings, which is good. So I'll ask, but
Okay.
yeah, I like to work out on my own too.
You do like to work out on your own.
Yeah, it's like me time.
Okay. And is there anything else going on at home? Is there any type of food culture that's going to be affecting your way to eat? Like, is there any type of other things that you can think of? Because we've gone over so much. Oh, okay. Yeah. What's going on?
He just like eats not well. Like he eats candy and things like that.
Oh, so there's a lot of candy in your house?
Not really. Like there's candy in our movie room, but like I never go in our movie room. Like I can't even remember the last time I touched the candy over there.
Okay.
But we do have a good amount of ice cream.
Okay.
However, he usually doesn't get the flavors I like, so I typically like don't touch it. But like if he does somehow, like he does bring a flavor I like.
Okay.
Like, I would say it's hard to not have some.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
well, how about this? Why don't we even try to get you to have ice cream in the house, but focus on having maybe twice a week you can give yourself the ice cream.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like taking the carton and eating out of the carton. I mean like take a ice cream scooper, scoop out 2 scoops of ice cream, and let yourself have it without the guilt.
So yeah, I usually eat out of the cup.
Okay, this is a good goal. This is a good goal.
Yeah.
This is something to work on, because that's a very easy thing to do, especially when it's like, oh, whatever. So why don't we try? When would you say you would normally do that? Is it like when you get home from school? Is it like?
It's usually when I get home and I'm
like that's what you want.
Let me look through the fridge or freezer and I'm like, oh, Dad got more ice cream. Let me check the flavor.
Okay. Well, I think okay. So it sounds like you've been restricting yourself a lot, and we need to. You don't want to live the rest of your life not being able to have the ice cream, and when you do have the ice cream, feeling terrible about it, right?
Yeah.
So. Not that this necessarily be a goal that we have to track, but just in terms of trying to feel better about ourselves and feel like you don't need to crave it, maybe we're gonna try to, when you go grocery shopping, pick out 1 ice cream that you want to have and allow yourself twice a week, and pick out those days that you're gonna have it, to have the ice cream. Have 2 scoops of that ice cream and measure it out. That's gonna be something we want to work on, okay?
So like, let's say I got Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
How long should that like keep me? Like how many servings is realistically like in the Ben and Jerry's? Like should I be like cutting it in thirds or like in halves or like in 4?
You know what, let me look it up. What kind of flavor is it that you like love with Ben and Jerry's?
I like milk and cookies.
Okay, milk and cookies. Let's see. You get a normal pint, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look this up. Alright, nutrition.
Yeah, it's so good.
3 servings per container. So let's go with that. So 3 servings is 2/3 of a cup.
Okay.
Okay? So that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's 3 servings per container. You can take 2/3 of a cup, measure it out, put it in a bowl, and eat it. And because clearly you're working on your packaging skills and you're looking at everything.
Yeah.
Going forward with the food, I want you to not think about so much the serving sizes as much as how am I feeling. That's what we want to start thinking about. So when we're eating our food, we want to be conscientiously eating and saying, okay, how am I feeling when I'm eating this? Don't try to push away the hunger. If you're hungry, that means we need to eat more food. Okay? So that's what we need to start thinking about. So we have these great SMART goals, which means they're specific, measurable, realistic. But the other things you need to think about now are going to be, while I'm trying to do these goals, while I'm trying to do this stuff, I don't want you thinking, I want to start cutting out all the food, I want to start, starving myself. It's no. I want to start developing a good relationship with food, eating it, enjoying it, and thinking, okay, am I hungry? If I'm hungry, I need to add more food. Mm-hmm. And if you're really set on eliminating the dinner, then we need to at least eat more food during the day. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's start doing that. So I like the idea of doing the Ben & Jerry's ice cream, the 2/3 cup, scooping into a bowl, and enjoying. Okay. Let's pause this for a second. John, really? Is we done?
Folded the laundry.
Yeah, really fucking important.
Good for you, bro.
Yeah, very, very important.
Keep up the good work. You need brownie points.
Okay, so Ben & Jerry's ice cream, 2/3 cup, scooping into a bowl. Twice a week, 3 times a week. 3 times a week is fine. That's 3 times a week. Or let's start with 2 times a week. So I don't want to put you on a board. So 2 times a week. You get to look forward to that. You can choose when you want to do that, and you want to sit down, eat it, not distracted, not on your phone, and enjoy it. And don't feel guilty. That's going to be the major thing. Okay. So going forward, what I want you to do the next time we meet, I want you to keep a 3-day journal of everything you eat, every little thing, and on top of that, I want you to also write in how you feel when you're eating that. Okay. I don't, and even if it's, I'm really upset with this because of this, write it in, write every little thing in. Okay. So we're gonna meet, and I think it's about 2 weeks, and we'll check in from there. I'm gonna write up a whole account based on our conversation today, and I'll give you all your goals and everything we're gonna track. Also giving you a whole thing about reminding you to enjoy what you're eating and to really focus on that conscientious eating. Okay. So do you have any questions, anything you want to go over?
I don't think so.
Well, we went over a lot. So.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that is all great.